The 2020 NBA season was poised to be one of the best seasons in NBA history. After an offseason that shifted and moved over half the league and some of its biggest stars, this was one of the most anticipated seasons ever. We were gonna see Zion play for the first time. Luka and Porzingis are now healthy. The Golden State Warriors super team era was over. LeBron James and Anthony Davis teamed up on the Lakers. Paul George and Kawhi Leonard teamed up on the Clippers. The Brody and the Beard reunited in Houston. Kemba Walker was finally on the contending team. Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant joined on the Brooklyn Nets. Parity seemed to be restored in the NBA. And for the first time since the 2016 NBA season, we didn't know who would win the championship. This season was supposed to be one of the craziest NBA seasons in history. And well, I guess it has.
The NBA has made the decision. They have just announced that they are suspending play, and then the league is going to use that hiatus to decide their next steps, how they'll go forward. But this is the last night of NBA games for the foreseeable future.
Like I said, I expected this season to be a wild roller coaster, but not this wild. And mostly, it's been wild for the wrong reasons. I mean, look at all the moves that happened the off-season before. How can you not be excited? We have superstars on different teams. The NBA power structure changed in a matter of one summer, but as the season has played out, more often than not, it has disappointed more than it has lived up to the hype. And this goes outside of the situation that just transpired. We had to wait months before we could see Zion Williamson play. One of, if not the most hyped up prospects since LeBron James in 03. Paul George has had injuries that hasn't really allowed the Los Angeles Clippers to really show what they're about. Kevin Durant not playing this year was already a big expected bummer, but then Kyrie only ended up playing 20 or so games. Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid have been battling injuries and have really hindered one of the most star-studded teams in the league. And then the Warriors, man, the Warriors, I was really excited to see the Warriors without KD for the first time in years, and I was excited to see Steph potentially go off. But no, Steph would be out for the majority of the season due to a broken hand. He'd come back for a game, he got sick, and now here we are. Klay Thompson would also sit out the whole season due to the ACL injury he suffered in the NBA Finals. The Warriors were supposed to be a team that was supposed to be at the top of the Western Conference, but they end the NBA season with a bottom 3 record in the league and with Andrew Wiggins being their #1 option. I don't want to make this about Andrew Wiggins, but I'd call BS if you told me this is how you envision the Warriors season ending up as. Look, I know injuries have always been a part of the game. I understand that they're unavoidable, but it does contribute into an NBA season not being as good as we expected. There's also been the tragic death of Kobe Bryant, and that event shook not only just the basketball world, but the sports world in general. There was the death of longtime NBA commissioner and arguably the most influential figure in league history in David Stern. Now, I don't want to say that it's contributed to the disappointment because that just sounds wrong and it's just poorly worded, but it surely adds to the negativity and the downer aspects of this season. Now, to be fair, let's talk about the positives of this season, because I'm not gonna act like I've just been having a frown face the whole season. There's been a lot of great basketball. We had one of the best all-star weekends in league history. The Lakers are back to being one of the NBA powerhouses. That's always fun. LeBron is back on a contender. That's always fun to see. The new moves have made some very interesting teams with interesting combinations of characters. Russell Westbrook's resurgence in play has been fantastic. And while yes, there was a delay, Zion has been very exciting to watch. Ja Morant has become a star and a fan favorite in the league. D'Angelo Russell and Karl Anthony Towns are now on the same team. The Toronto Raptors have been exceeding so many people's expectations, especially after losing arguably the best player in the league in Kawhi Leonard. Players like Jason Tatum and Luka Doncic look like they've taken that next step from being a future NBA star to just a bona fide star, period. And then Giannis, I mean, my good, Giannis has been having one of the most dominant seasons in NBA history. I'm not gonna act like there's been nothing to look forward to, but I'm gonna be honest. What makes this NBA season the most disappointing in NBA history is what just transpired the past couple of weeks.
The NBA has made the decision. They have just announced that they are suspending play.
Yep, the NBA season is over. Okay, it's not officially over. There have been some talks that the NBA will either extend the season to August, which may make a permanent change in the NBA schedule that is going to be extremely hard to reverse, or they could go straight to the NBA playoffs. But regardless, the NBA season until further notice has been cancelled. But to get a better understanding of exactly why the NBA decided to do this, we need to get an idea of exactly what the coronavirus is and why it's caused so much commotion, not just in sports, but globally. For that, I welcome a guest for today's video, fellow NBA YouTuber and resident physician, Brian Sutterer. What's up, Dr. Sutterer? How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me come on and help provide some education to your viewers.
So I'm sure you're well aware of the decision that the NBA has decided upon, and today I just want to bring you in to inform the viewers about the coronavirus, the basics of it, like where did it originate from, how it spreads, and what kind of effects does it have on the recipient of the virus.
First off, viruses are infectious biological agents that essentially can infiltrate our body's own cells and take over those cells, causing more replication of the virus, cell death, and then a severe immune response. Coronaviruses are actually a family of multiple different viruses based on classification, and this novel coronavirus is just a specific one that has a different genetic makeup, different protein receptors, and causes a more severe infection, and that infection is what we call COVID-19. The virus was thought to originate in an animal over in China before ultimately jumping from animals to infect humans. And we found out that it spreads through mainly respiratory droplets. And that means basically whenever you sneeze, and even just with basic breathing, it can be spread within that air and then inhaled by someone that's nearby you, or potentially even picked up from touching a surface in which someone who is already infected spread that virus to that surface. Whenever you have this viral infection, your immune system recognizes it and ramps itself up to ultimately fight off and kill that virus. But in some severe cases, your immune system can't fight it off and can't support it, and you get an overwhelming amount of damage, particularly in this case to the lungs, which can lead to respiratory failure and ultimately death.
So what exactly are your thoughts on the NBA deciding to shut down the NBA season? You know, I think many people do believe that they made the right decision, but do you think their execution could have been better? Do you think they should have acted on it faster? Are you disappointed in that aspect? What do you think?
I think the NBA made the right decision, and it's easy in hindsight to say, well, maybe it should have been a week sooner or a few days sooner. Bottom line, until one of the players tested positive or this became more widespread, I think really it made most sense to just have no fans at the arenas, but try to continue playing. We know that one of the most effective ways to prevent the spread of a virus like this is to contain it and to isolate individuals who have been exposed so that we limit the amount of spread of the virus. So this means we try to limit large group gatherings. So of course you don't want to have 20,000 sports fans packed into one arena when just one of those people might be infected and spread it to a bunch of other people around them. There's always going to be some things we can nitpick on about how specific situations were handled, but I think this was the right decision, and I'm proud of the NBA and all the other sports organizations for making this challenging decision, even when players were on the court and games were scheduled to continue, not being afraid to tell fans they need to go home and keep the health of the players and the fans all in mind by suspending the season the way they have.
All right, well, I don't want to hold you for too long. Like I said, I just wanted to give everyone some information on the basics of the virus. I don't think I'm qualified enough to do that, so I wanted to bring you in. And also, I wanted to give you a shout out for the great work that you do. Go ahead and check out Brian Sutterer on YouTube. Links will be in the description.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on. And again, everybody, make sure you try to isolate yourself from large groups of people as much as possible. If you're sick, stay home. Don't try to be a hero and go into work if you're feeling ill. Make sure you're washing your hands well, and just be very proactive and conscious about your contact with other people and how much we might be spreading this. Because even though you might personally not be at risk because you might be younger and good health, you can just as well spread that to someone else who's older and might not be as fortunate in their recovery.
For the NBA season to end so abruptly, as it did, is the most disappointing thing I can remember NBA fans have ever had to go through. For lack of a better term, we got blue balled. we got blue balled. It ended 2 months right before the playoffs were about to start, right when the MVP race was really starting to heat up, and we're starting to become a very heated conversation, which through all the arguing and stupidity on social media, let's keep it a buck, we as NBA fans love that interaction. It ended right when regular season games were actually starting to mean something. That is the definition of disappointing. Now, I am not blaming anyone. I just want to make that clear. I am not blaming anyone. I know the NBA wouldn't want to cancel the season if they had the choice not to. I understand that players don't plan to get injured. But as an NBA fan, you can't help but to be disappointed. You can't say that for any other NBA season. Now, what are the plans for the future? As far as I know, there are 3 options the NBA is deciding upon. One is starting off where they left off and finishing the season in late July/August. 2 is going straight to the NBA playoffs. Or 3 is straight up canceling the season and just starting back up in late October like we usually do. Me personally, I'm in favor of going straight to the playoffs, as at this point, the season already has a big asterisk on it. Success in the NBA is dependent on team momentum and matchups, and if there's a chance that, let's say, the Toronto Raptors can match up with the Brooklyn Nets in the first round, and there's been enough time to pass that Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving can return on the team, and the Raptors have to face that team as a 7th seed, that's just not fair, and the point of standings have just been ruined. All the momentum teams have built will be altered, which is big for the race for the 8th seed in the Western Conference. And for teams that started the season off slow and are trying to pick it up right before the playoffs, like the Clippers, the Celtics, and the Rockets, a momentum killer like this event is deadly. The Bucks are showing some kinks in their armor the past couple of weeks, but now Giannis has at the very least a month to recover. The Bucks can also recuperate, which is great for the Bucks. However, again, there's an alternative timeline where all of this didn't happen. It's gonna be inevitable for fans to make what ifs and discredit whatever success happens moving forward. I mean, you already have LeBron fans saying, man, they just don't want LeBron to win. This is all that is. Crowning LeBron and the Lakers champions of the 2020 season already. So at this point, the best bet is to just go straight to the playoffs if this ends before mid-April and just live with whatever happens. Because the 2 other alternatives involve either players literally just wasting the 2020 season if they cancel it off, or 2, the NBA making a very hard to reverse schedule change that could literally change the NBA forever. So now that the NBA is canceled, what do we do now? What do we do? Well, first, wash your damn hands. Just you know, after you watch this video, go to your bathroom, soap, water, rub-a-dub-dub, wash your hands. The NBA and all of these organizations did not just cancel their events, did not just stop their revenue stream for nothing. This problem goes beyond sports. Stay safe out there, wash your hands, try to stay away from mass public gatherings as much as possible. But as NBA fans, go watch some retro games, catch up on the history of the game, learn more about the details and the intricacies of the game of basketball. People make a living off of talking about basketball for a reason, and that's because of how deep and intricate this sport involving shooting a ball into a hoop is. Now, I swear this video is not a ploy to promote me and my platform, but support your NBA YouTubers, as since our inception, we've always tried to provide you guys interesting NBA related content, and hopefully this break will bring in some interest in historical videos, because contrary to popular belief, we do like to talk about the history of the game, but let's just be honest, the past couple of years, you guys have really been wanting to watch current event related videos because a lot of videos have already been made on the past, and when we don't get the numbers that we want, that does stray us away from making historical content. But again, hopefully this time can be used to regain some of that interest back into that area of the NBA community. Or maybe I'm wrong about all of this disappointment that I'm feeling right now. Maybe I'm just living in the moment. Maybe we can look back and say that the 2020 NBA season is the craziest season of all time and will be one to be remembered, and that this break is a part of that story. I don't want to say this is a blessing in disguise, I am definitely not making that claim, but with this break, teams have a chance to be fully healthy going into the playoffs. And if health was the biggest concern and the biggest disappointment of the NBA season prior to the break, we have a chance right now to remove that concern. The NBA playoffs could end up going in 2 ways. It could have a very big asterisk on it, or it could not, because everyone would be healthy by that time. The Boston Celtics will be healthy. The Brooklyn Nets with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving could possibly be healthy. Paul George can be healthier. Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid can be healthier. Who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. I'm a very open-minded person, and the people who actually know me know how true that is. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm just hoping for the best, and I just hope everyone stays safe out there. But that's gonna be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Everyone, again, please stay safe out there. Shout out to Dr. Brian Sutterer again for making an appearance on this video. Links to his channel and his videos will be in the description. Watch these 2 videos on the screen if you haven't already. But with that being said, I am out. Peace.